Okay, so get started. Okay, so welcome everybody to my Banter Blitz. Just as a reminder today, I'm only going to be playing black, so if you challenge me and the color is random, sorry, we're not playing. You got to challenge me when you have white, and I'm going to do my best to play the semi-Slav. So I would appreciate it if people who would play d4 against me. Like if you're an e4 player, that's fine. I'm not going to abort the game when you play e4. We'll play, but I'm gonna. This is sort of a shameless advertisement for my semi-Slav course on Chessable, which I should link to here in just a second. I'll type it into the chat, and then we'll get started. So I tend to prefer 5-minute games just because I'm not that fast at flagging people and whatnot, but we'll see what happens. So here, let's see who I got. Journey to 2500. Why don't we? Actually, I misclicked because I was trying to play Journey to 2500 but misclicked, but I will play Krakus instead. So good luck, Krakus. Let's play a good game. I'll play Journey to 2500 next. Looks like nobody's here. 5 seconds until I play somebody else. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let me see who else. I said Krakus, right? No, I said Journey to 2500. Let me see if I can find him. There's a lot of challenges here. Tons of challenges. Can't find him. Oh, there you are. Okay. Accept. Here we go. All right, Journey to 2500. Good luck. Let's have a good game. So let's see if my semi-Slav will stand the test of time and if this course actually works. It would be deeply embarrassing if I played my repertoire over and over again, got completely clobbered every game, and then nobody bought it. All right, so Exchange Slav, which, as I mentioned in the opening clinic and elsewhere, is more of a test of your attitude than anything else. So I definitely think black is fine here, but he should be careful not to be too ambitious and too anxious. So this position, I think, is quite fine for black. But if white plays queen b3, I think I have to make a draw, which is a shame. But I'm trying to remember exactly how my variation went here, but I believe I recommended bishop d6. If nothing else, this is a test of my memory because I don't necessarily remember everything perfectly. But yeah, I believe this position. So what my goal is to equalize. I don't particularly mind a boring position, as I've said, but I don't want a dead position. And here, well, this is boring and it is equal. It is not dead. The position is still somewhat imbalanced because white has compromised his king safety a little bit with this sort of f3, and his pawn structure is a little looser as a result. At the same time, his knight on e2 might be a little better than my knight on f6, and he got to the c file first. So there's definitely plans for both sides here that could be interesting, but at least I think I'm keeping some play alive in the position, which is, it's never fun to face the Exchange Slav. Nobody likes playing against it, certainly not me. But well, you do your best. So at this point here, now that he has played knight a4 and he's no longer looking at my d5 pawn, I'm very tempted to accept an Isolani and play e5. So I'm going to do it, and I think this will get me a more interesting game. It would be much harder to pull this off when white's knight was still on c3, because then I would be facing more pressure against the d5 pawn. So here it might look like there's some tactical shot with, like, if he takes d e5, knight e5, bishop e5, and then g4, trying to trap my bishop, but I don't think it will work. I can probably even play bishop takes g4 with knight takes g4 and problems on e3 and h2 and queen h4 later. So yeah, if you're bishop e5, g4, bishop g6 is probably fine, but I'm very tempted to just sacrifice a piece with bishop takes g4. So anyhow, the Exchange Slav is definitely the bane of every Slav player's existence, and nobody wants to see it, but it does get played at high levels. It's not a bad opening for white, and while it's boring, it's important to know what to do. And we'll see if things work out for me, but I think so far it seems to be working pretty well. So now I'm going to go rook e8 and try to put further pressure on the e-pawn. At some point, white could face some tactics. Like, I can't play knight c4 yet because you can play rook c4 and I will lose material, but at some point, knight c4 could be annoying. And this knight on a4 is really misplaced. It's not very good. If he goes knight c5, then I will always have queen e7 and the knight has to move again. And I think his e3 pawn is every bit as weak as my d5 pawn. If he goes knight c3, then maybe I can play knight c4 without having to fear rook takes c4. I don't know. Already, maybe I'm just too ambitious and too optimistic in general, but I actually somewhat prefer black's position already here. This feels pretty decent to me. So now I'm thinking about what I want to do about this, because I can also play queen b6. My initial plan was queen e7, which felt very natural, but queen b6 does not look stupid at all. How is he going to defend that knight? I'm not sure I see it. Let's try queen b6 and see what happens. This, I don't know. If he plays knight a4, I might have to go back to d8 and then deviate with something else later. But if queen d4, knight c6, stuff starts hanging. I don't know. I'm already kind of liking black here. 15 moves in, the exchange Slav, and looks pretty good. All right, so what happens after knight c6? Probably okay for him. Knight c6, he has to play queen c3. Then if I play d4, knight takes d4, knight d5, a lot of stuff is hanging. Certainly looks like fun, but let's see. After knight c6, he really has to play queen c3. I don't see another move. I go d4, and then he will take it, and I go knight d5. If queen c2, I have bishop g6. If queen v3, I take it, and then take on f4. Let's go for it. This looks like fun. And d4. Should probably open the chat. I didn't realize I hadn't opened the chat yet, but okay, so e takes d4. That looks very suspicious to me. So if I go knight d5, a lot of stuff should start hanging pretty fast. So I'm going to go knight d5. If queen c2, I should have bishop g6. Although, yeah, this seems like things are going wrong for white. So if queen d2, rook takes e2 is completely winning. So I think white's lost here. I don't see a way out. Well, this guy's thinking I need to pour myself a glass of water. I've been talking nonstop. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. I'm back in time for rook takes e2, and now I should be absolutely winning. So should be at least a little bit careful. He could, in theory, have queen e4 at various moments. So let's take with the knight on f4. And this should be very safely winning for black. I don't believe white will survive. Okay, so 20 moves in, and I'm beating the exchange Slav with black. This is awesome. Take on d4, and then everything hangs. He can't take it because of knight e2. And all right, black is absolutely winning. Rah, 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 go team, go. Let's go knight e2. Okay, so good game to journey to 2,500. I'm glad that so far my repertoire has held up, and I actually got a very good position very fast in the exchange Slav, which is not easy to do. For all those who are asking in my opening clinic, they were saying, how do you play for winning the exchange Slav? Well, that's how. Equalize, even if it's boring, and try to keep things somewhat interesting and keep things somewhat in balance. And here it went wrong for black pretty fast. All right, so Dali chess, let's play with you. E4. Okay, that's fine. Let's play a Sicilian. All right, so let's go with something more interesting today. Bishop B5, and now, okay, let's play a wild and stupid move because it's fun. This is pretty silly, but you know, guy's got to do what a guy's got to do. Okay, so we're actually getting an open Sicilian structure that I don't think is so bad for black. Like here, for example, like the dragon, I think is actually a pretty good opening strategically. The only problem is you get yourself checkmated in here because white has already played castle short, and my knight got to a5 very quickly. Actually, I think this is a pretty darn good dragon for black, and I quite like my position already. Like, he can play bishop h6, so I'm not worried about getting checkmated. So let's see. f3, so yes, let's just continue development with bishop d7. And this move knight a5 might look out of place, but rook c8 is coming next. Okay, so bishop h6, I think that loses material to chop and queen b6. Maybe he can play queen e3 here, and e5 knight f5 is okay. That's a shame, it is. I thought I was winning on the spot, but I mean, regardless, black still has a very good position after something like rook c8 here. So knight f5, forcing these queens off, but this endgame should be extremely comfortable for black. I'm wondering if I even want to play queen d8, actually. Should I play queen d8 or play an endgame? I think this, let's go queen d8. I don't really want to play an endgame just yet. Well, it's going to have to retreat this knight again, and I like black's position. But this is the kind of position where, like, if he had castled long instead and went like g4 here, things could get very bad very fast. All right, so he doesn't want that, but this is not going to work very well because now I can take on f5 with the bishop and then go queen b6 check and then take his stuff. And that should be pretty good. Let's go take his stuff. And this should be winning for black. All right, so he's trying. Gotta give him credit for that, but I don't think this will work. So how am I gonna? Let me just go queen e5. That looks pretty tempting. I can take on c2. Now let's just keep it safe. So I'm going to take this and go queen e5 when I think I have everything very well under control and my queen is the boss of the board, and well, I'm a clean pawn up and c2 is hanging, and this is bad news for white. So let's am I going to continue now? I can go like, say, knight c4. He can't lift a rook very easily because he's going to hang the rook on a1. Like, this is a situation where, like, I don't know how white is going to really launch an attack. It feels like a impossible dream. All right, lock that rook out. And so now he wants to launch an attack. I suppose that makes some sense, but at the same time, I'm not particularly scared. So for example, here, I'm going to be a little bit boring and play queen f6. He probably is going to have to retreat the queen or exchange like this, but this endgame is probably just winning for black. I mean, now it's definitely winning once I can keep the knight alive and play g5 to keep the position closed. Here it's definitely gone, but yeah, okay. My knight is better than his bishop, and I'm a clean pawn up, so this should win pretty routinely. Rook c8 coming. And then I'll bring my king to defend the pawn. And then at some point I will play rook c6, rook c3, the other rook to c6 to keep everything protected, and then rook a3, and then I start taking everything. So this should win very routinely. That's knight c4, I think. Still playing? It's fine. So go like rook a4. He has to play rook c2, and now he's like in stalemate. So it's just going to be Zugzwang if I keep waiting. That's fine. Forward ho. No. At some point, I'm going to have to win this game, won't I? All right, fine. I'll play b4. Maybe this was careless. Now we can. No, this doesn't do anything. My rook will get to a3. At some point, he can throw h4 and open a second flank, but at any moment, I can go h6 and put my king back on e7, and he'll never do anything. So I should win this very routinely. So maybe he heard me, but just in the interest of safety, I'm going to stick my king on e7 where everything is protected, and then there's nothing left for white to do. Maybe I could have finished this more cleanly, but this is definitely good enough. So let's take this one, and then start pushing these pawns. My king will easily hide on g7, and then my pawns will win the game. So he can take that one if he wants it, but I will easily make a queen, stick my rook on the back rank just for maximum safety, and now these pawns make a queen. So here, and then b3, and now queen is coming. So here, and now a queen with check. He doesn't even get to pretend. All right, so check, and we're done here. We're still playing? Okay. All right, so good game to Sidali Chess. Let's see who else wants to play. All right, Magnus125. I don't know where the 125 came from, but let's play with you. Good luck, Magnus125. Do you recommend studying openings first or endgames? Openings, semi-Slav. It's important. I mean, you can't only study one element of chess. You need to be good at all kinds of different games. All right. Let's see if this guy is here or okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, abort. All right, who else wants to play? Let's see. Let's play with Julie Tapopo. Okay, good luck, Julie Tapopo. Man, what is it with endless trolls just challenging me and not showing up during my Banter Blitz? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, came up in time. All right, so knight f3, d5. 2 seconds left until abortion. So good luck, Julie Tapopo. Let's have a good game. All right, so let's go knight f6. I don't know why you're playing the same speed every move, but okay. E3. All right, so let's play the way I was playing in the repertoire with E6. Bishop D3, so I believe I advocated taking on C4 here. So I'll go now knight BD7, I think is best. So I'll go bishop D6. And if I recall, what I'm supposed to do from the course is basically as soon as white plays knight C3, then I play B5. So here I'll go B5. And then and only then. So castle, and let's see what Julie Tapopo wants now. E4, E5. This is all still part of the course. Bishop G5. I don't think this is supposed to be very good, but I don't remember off the top of my head what I'm supposed to play here. Let's see. So, well, if I play Queen C7, I'm sort of walking into Rook C1, so I don't really want to do that. Let's start with H6 and see what this bishop wants. I imagine Bishop H4 will come. It would be pretty strange if it doesn't. And also strange that this move isn't coming immediately, which makes me wonder, but wow, Bishop F6, that's unusual. So I'll take it, and now I guess white has to play D5 to justify this, and then I probably have to play B4. When I will lose a pawn, but I'll have very good compensation. Yeah, okay, so this way here, this basically is a semi-Slav gone extremely well for black, where I got to take over all the black squares and end up with a fantastic position, particularly that this knight on C3 is very badly placed and dominated by the C6 pawn. I've got a healthy bishop pair in the black square, and here, this is already very bad for white, so I should be clearly better. All right, so Rook C1, let's, I guess, play Rook D8 to challenge this bishop. Queen E2, Bishop E6, and yeah, this knight on, like, one bad piece makes a bad position, and white's knight on C3 is really bad. But it's still somewhat solid. It will take some effort to break through. I think I hear Pascal's kids in the background. So G3 is a pretty good move. It looks like white wants to play F4 and challenge my bishop, which makes a fair amount of sense, but I don't actually think F4 is a threat because I may be able to play bishop takes F4 with Queen D4 on the way. So I might just ignore that. If I play Rook D7, for example, to double rooks, F4, bishop takes F4, is there any trickery there? I'm complicating the game pretty directly, but you know what, let's play Rook D7. If they want to play F4, we'll see, but I think that bishop takes F4 is working. All right, so they heard me, didn't go for it, but now Rook D8 comes, and this is a really tough position for white. So Rook D1, now I don't want to allow F4, and now, so I'm going to go G5. And it looks a little weird to open up my king like this, but there's no way white's going to punish me for it, so I'm not particularly concerned. All right, so now let's slowly improve with king G7. I might start throwing H5, H4, and attacking on the other side of the board. I mean, this is a spot where like all of my pieces are more active than white's, and I have a very nice advantage as a result. But it's going to be hard to break through because white doesn't have so many weaknesses. So I think opening a second front on the king side makes a lot of sense. So bishop B1. If I feel like I should be able to take something here, but let's see. So let me start with bishop C4. I'll start with simply activating this bishop to its best square. And now white's queen has a tough decision on where to go. And guys in the chat, I have, I think, over 100 challenges here. So I'm doing my best, but bear with me. Okay, so now I think bishop C3 wins a clean pawn and the game to follow. I don't see how white's going to save a pawn here. After bc3 and rook d1, I trade everything, and then queen takes c3. My king is totally safe, and this is a clean pawn up that I think should bring the game to its conclusion. So Giulia Topopo seemed to know some good theory and was able to challenge me to make some tough decisions, but I think pretty quickly black got the upper hand, and here I should be in pretty good shape. I don't see how white's going to hold this. I mean, they should try f4. I don't think there's anything else you can even attempt, but I don't think it will work. So there goes f4. Now let's go queen b2 check, king h3 must come, and then I'm thinking I can play bishop e2 and hope for mate. This queen on the long diagonal is really good. All right, so bishop e2, and now I think I might give mate in the next few moves. So there, so if g4 has to be mate. All right, let's go g4. King h4, and now bishop f3. I'm threatening queen h2, and this will force white's queen to something like g1, and then be totally stuck. And yeah, so this is checkmate shortly. Queen f6, gh3, and then queen g6 is mate. Yeah. So good game to Juliet Topopo. He challenged me a bit in the opening, but it seems like I was able to turn it around. So far the semi-Slav is holding up. Let's see if anybody else would like to play with me. So let's play with Natsu Dragneel. This is a 3-minute game, so I'm going to have to be faster with my commentary. And I may get flagged because I'm not good at talking, but hopefully I will be able to play a decent game, even if I end up losing on time. And yeah, a haircut is a problem right now. If honestly, for people saying haircut, yeah, I really badly need one, but I can't get one because of the lockdown. If I didn't have to appear on like shows like this and on Chessable and recording videos, I probably would just shave my head at some point and let it grow back over the course of a month before anybody had to see me. But that's not really an option under the circumstances. I'm definitely going to post a before and after picture. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so challenges. Let's play with Akiko Magnum BKS. Oh no, shit. That's sorry, I can't do that. I was supposed to be playing only with black. So I have to abort this, sorry. I'm supposed to only be playing with black today. So be sure to challenge me with only white. Let's see. Okay, Gregor Samsa. Hey, he's got my own name within his name. All right, so Gregor Samsa. Let's see if you have a game to play. Okay, we got d4 again. Let's see how well my repertoire holds up this time. Okay, bishop f4, c5. This is what I was advocating in the London system, and knight c6. Test my memory, but hopefully be reasonably decent. So c3, I believe the move order I gave here for black was bishop f5, but I'm not sure. Let's play bishop f5. I believe this is the move order I offered. And now e6. And now queen b6. Yeah, and the point is here that after queen b3 and c4, white will not be able to play queen c2 back because of my bishop on f5. I believe this is what I gave in the course, and I think is a very decent option. Maybe white can try knight h4 here. In fact, I probably should, but I'm not particularly scared of that either. The plan of b5, b4 is extremely effective in these positions. So yeah, I don't mind giving up this bishop. You can have it, but fix my pawns if you would. That's fine. But this b5, b4 plan is extremely dangerous, and I don't think that that white's bishop pair is that impressive. I can always play like king d7, bishop d6 to challenge the dark squared bishop, for example. So I'm going to start with b5. All right, so if I don't play b4 here, then I will lose my chance to because white can play a3 next. So That might not be the end of the world, but I'm going to go ahead and play b4 because I don't want to lose the opportunity. So people saying, what about e4? That's definitely white's best plan, but I also don't think it's very scary. Like, play knight f6, and what's the big deal? So rook fb1, also not very scary. I'm going to play knight f6. And this queenside play is pretty good. I have a feeling I misremembered the lines, actually. I think that I wasn't supposed to allow this. Maybe I was supposed to have knight f6 included at some point first, but let's see. So knight f6, let's go now. Do I want to take back the bishop pair? Yeah, I think this is a good moment to take back the bishop pair. That's the only good thing about white's position. Everything else is bad. And so now that they will lose the bishop pair, even with opposite bishops, this should be very, very bad for white. So I'll gain a tempo with bishop d6, and then play b5 next. So to everyone who's saying, will I play with you? I'm trying to play with everybody, but look, there's like 100 challenges that I'm dealing with. So I'm doing my best, but most people won't get a game. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to play with as many different people as I can. A good way to ensure you get a game is make sure you challenge me to only play white, because I don't want to be playing black today. Or I don't want to be playing white today. All right, so here, normally I'm not so keen on blocking a position completely, but stopping any e4 forever. And now black is going to play b5. And at some point I will play bc3 and b4 and leave white with a basically losing pawn structure. So I think eliminating all counterplay is probably the first point of order. All right, so let's get the pawns moving all the way to b4. If knight e5, I think I'll take it with the bishop. And here, like, another very decent plan for black is to like double rooks on the a file and like let white figure out how to save the a pawn. So I'll take with the bishop, no more opposite colored bishops. I could have taken with the knight as well, which also would have been very good for black, but this I think is even easier. To breaker, why don't I want to play white? I'm trying to advertise my semi-Slav course today, which, well, I'll probably type in the chat. Let me find it. I'm trying to advertise my semi-Slav course, so I'm playing my repertoire against everybody and hopefully disarming everyone with it, and it's sort of an advertisement. So can't type it in the chat for right now for some reason. All right, so let's go rook a5 and bring the other rook to a8. Again. So there's so that's the repertoire. All right, so a3 comes, which sort of is seeming like it's forcing me to resolve the tension, but in fact, I think I can play rook a8 because of the pin and leave the tension a little bit longer in black's extra space, and the pressure on the queen side should be decisive. So knight takes b4, and white is in big trouble. I will power through with b4 next. Bring the knight back to c6 and then b4, and the structure is bad for white. I don't know. This game probably wasn't the best advertisement just because it's very slow and not much is happening for a while. But here, this position I think is basically lost for white. Like b4 is going to come next, and I don't see what white's going to do about it. So white plays b4 himself, and now it's time to break through. Rook takes b3. Knight takes b4 was also good. But yeah, at this point now, in addition to all of white's other problems, they're a clean pawn down, and they will lose the second one on b4 next, and this game is finished. Okay, so a good game to Gregor Samsa. I think my semi-Slav repertoire is holding up pretty well so far. All right, so let's see who else. Okay, Doopy Loopy, let's play with you. You have a high rating. Maybe you can teach me something. And you have a cool name. All right, so D4, D5. Let's see. No, come on. Always the exchange Slav. Come on, guys. Really? All the time? All right. Last time it went okay, so we'll see if I can do it this time as well. So sticking with my proposed repertoire. A6. And now bishop g4. So I think this is so far move for move the same as the previous game I played first. I don't think there's been a difference yet. Bishop d6. And yeah, I mean, this position, it looks very dry, but as you saw in the previous case, it can actually heat up, and there's some imbalance. I mean, like White's pawn structure is a little bit dubious now, with e3 potentially being weak. The knight on e2 is probably a bit better than my knight on f6. He can potentially be playing stuff like bishop takes d6 and knight f4. Okay, so this guy is playing move for move the exact same thing my previous opponent did. Maybe he was watching that game and found an improvement along the way or something. But I'll be interested to see if he can play better. But yeah, so far this is move for move. I believe this is exactly the same as the previous game. So knight takes e5. If he was watching and ran the computer and studied it real quick and then is able to bust me with what he found, more power to him. That'd be pretty cool. But so far, I think I'm holding up okay. Well, still, same game all the way to here. He must have some improvements in mind. But he's spending a lot of time for... Okay, so queen b6 worked really well for me that time, so I'm just going to keep on playing the same thing and see what happens. I have a bad feeling that at some point I'm going to get hit by a move that I didn't see in the previous game, and that this guy was watching that and has found some problem that I hadn't come up with. I wouldn't be surprised. But at the same time here, he's spending so much time. You'd think that if he had found a problem in the previous game, he would have checked something here. All right, so knight a4. Now I think I should probably come back home. And if he plays knight c5, realistically, of course, I could make a draw, and that would be a totally acceptable result. But I'm going to keep the game going because, well, I want to see if we can do something else. And the problem with knight a4 is if I were to play like queen a7, he could go queen d4, and then I don't really want to exchange queens here. So knight d3, I believe, is a mistake. That should fall very quickly, actually. So I have some interesting options. Okay, taking on d3 wins a pawn for sure. Queen takes d3, bishop f4, knight f4, queen e3, and I take a pawn, but it's not the greatest pawn in the world. And I'm thinking knight c4 might be a stronger way. Yeah, let's go with knight c4. This looks like White's going to lose something immediately. I don't see how White's going to hold this together. To Sigva, 5-minute games, please. But yeah, this looks like... Okay. And here I think White's losing material on the spot. So even including two moves that don't count because we repeated moves once, I think once again I've managed to beat the exchange Slav in 20 moves. So for anybody who's frustrated by the exchange Slav, likes the Slav or the semi-Slav, but is really sick of seeing c takes d5, well, I'm hopefully showing you how to deal with it. Keep the position just a little bit unbalanced, develop your pieces, and even if it's very boring looking as these positions are, you can really outplay someone pretty fast if there's even the slightest bit of imbalance. And here I think White is losing immediately. All right, so e4, and I should be able to start taking stuff. So let's take on f4, and then knight e3 will come. So that way, let's go knight e3. And I'm going to take the rook, and then, well, I will be a clean exchange up with some open files for my rooks, which means that I will win very easily. So people are saying the key to beating the exchange Slav is just play better than your opponent. That's part of it, but I think the big part is psychological. I think the worst thing you can do against the exchange Slav is just try to crush white right away. What you need to do is accept it's going to be boring, but your first goal is, okay, I will equalize, I'll be calm, get to a simple equal position. And you shouldn't fear a boring position. What you should fear is if a position is completely dead. Be sure to equalize first, accept that boring isn't the end of the world, and then take it from there. And that's basically what I did this game. And before long, white made a mistake, and I basically got a winning position almost immediately. All right, so what's the easiest way to conclude this game? Let's force a queen trade. Check and queen c4 seems pretty good. My rooks will not be ineffective in this endgame. This seems very effective. Rook d2 incoming. Rook e3 for that matter. And now rook d2 is next, and white's position is going to crumble. Ah, that's annoying. If rook d2, he can take. So let's just be calm and simple. Rook e6. It's maybe not the... Maybe rook e3 was inaccurate, but I don't care. Okay, that's checkmate. All right, so good game, doopy loopy. The exchange Slav goes down again. Justice was served, but hopefully this is a good advertisement for how to play against the exchange Slav. So let's see if I can find anyone else to play with. So let's play with, no, this person does, okay. Healthy Brick. Let's play with Healthy Brick. Good luck, Healthy Brick. Let's have a good game. Okay, no exchange, no more Slavs today. All right, let's play the same goofy Sicilian. Okay, he wants a goofy Sicilian too. All right, I'll play something goofy. B6 is probably extremely stupid, but, well, let's just see what happens. All right, so let's keep fianchettoing my bishops and play a position like this one. C3. Okay, so the guy wants to play d4. Fair enough, and probably knight c6 was very dumb because now he's going to get d4 because he doesn't have to worry about e4 hanging, but okay, I'm probably a bit worse, but it's not the end of the world. All right, so I'll go knight e6. Actually, yeah, okay, I'll go knight e7. That seems fine. And now, normally I'm hesitant to play d5 in these structures because it allows white to play e5, but here I'm going to because after e5 I'll be able to then play d4 with a gain of tempo and then get knight f5. All right, so this guy wants queen h4 and to checkmate me. I don't think I'm too worried, but, well, I will ask him for another move. I'm not giving up on castle and queenside just yet. All right, so he heard me and wants to avoid castle along. That seems like a pretty good idea, but at this point I'm going to go with d4. And I think that if he has to take on d4, which it seems like he does, because otherwise I will take the c3 pawn, the structure is very bad for white, so I'm quite happy with my position here. D1. I'll take the b2 pawn, and that should be a good start, or the d3 pawn for that matter. Take all the pawns. All right, so I'll take the b2 pawn, and then I'll bring my bishop to d4 so it can't get shut out by e5, and here I should be routinely winning. I'm a pawn up, and I'm not particularly concerned about getting checkmated by any of white's attempts. I mean, he should try a5, but I don't think it does very much. Maybe a5 is actually a little annoying because if I play b5, he can go knight b3. So a5 actually sort of keeps the game going, I think. And maybe it was clumsy of me to allow it. All right, so knight c4 I think is a mistake. I'm going to challenge this knight with bishop a6, and I don't know where it's going to go. As long as I don't let that knight go like e5, knight d6, I should be fine. And here, like knight e5, queen d6, I think I'm completely safe, so I don't take issue with that. I can also just take on e5. All right, so let's get rid of this knight first and ask questions later because it's an annoying piece. And now I'll take this one. If he plays queen a5, I will go knight c6. And, well, I am still a pretty clean pawn up. My knight will be better than his white squared bishop momentarily, and I will get myself castled to safety, and this should be basically winning for black. Or at least I don't see how he can offer much resistance here. Sure. D8. All right, let's get the queens off. Or actually, yeah, let's get the queens off the board. Takey, takey. And then Chekovich on e2, and that should compel resignation. All right, so good game, healthy brick. Let's see who else wants to play. All right, here's someone rated really high. Alex David. Let's play with him. Maybe this guy will crush me. Maybe he's rated higher than, oh, he's rated higher than me, so maybe I'll learn something from him. All right, so let's play the Semi-Slav repertoire and see if this guy can challenge me. And please don't take d5. Okay, thank you. All right, so Semi-Slav, here we go. Bishop g5, knight bd7. Let's see how my memory goes. Chop, chop. Queen c2 is extremely boring, but also totally fine for black. So it's h6. Well, it can be much more ambitious than this, of course, but well, this is fine. I cover this in the course, but it's one of the more boring lines that you can face, but black is still definitely fine. The plan now, black has less space, and it looks very difficult, but if you know the plan to play rook e8 and knight e4, I don't think that there's much to be afraid of, because black will then start trading a bunch of pieces, and he should be fine. He can then follow up with like basically the problem that you might face in this position is that this c8 bishop will not be able to get to f5 very easily, but I don't think that's a huge concern here because of the plan of rook e8 knight e4 as mentioned. Now he's played bishop g3, which is an attempt to avoid that plan, which makes some sense, but at the same time I don't find it super concerning. So I'm going to go rook e8 anyway. I have to be careful about, like, there's funky tricks here. I think I'm going to go knight h5, or can I go knight h5? Yeah, I'm going to go knight h5, and this will make it hard for him to castle. A key point is that the trick knight takes d5 would not work because I would have cd5, bishop c7, bishop b4 check. All right, so let's see if he wants to make a draw with me. I couldn't take on e5 very comfortably because after de5, my knight would be almost trapped. I don't know. I mean, this guy's pretty good, so maybe I should just be happy equalizing and forcing a draw with black, which is not something you love to do, but sometimes you don't have much of a choice. All right, so I'm going to make a draw with this fellow. Oh, he doesn't want it. Awesome. Let's play. Okay, so I should take this bishop while I can. And de5. Wow, that's very ambitious. All right, so knight d7, and this e5 pawn could become a serious problem for white. So check, king h8 seems fine. Bishop f5 is fine. Let's go bishop b4. Seems pretty good. Yeah, let's challenge that knight, challenge the e5 pawn. If he has to give up the bishop pair, I'm a pretty happy guy. So take, castle. I have bishops, I should open the game, so let's play f6. Nah, this was probably a mistake. Queen b3 is probably pretty good for him. It's not that great. I can take c3 and take e5, but I shouldn't have allowed that. Not the smartest. I should have played like queen e7 or something, or bishop e6 or something solid, and black would have been absolutely fine, maybe even slightly better. But here, if he finds queen b3, then he's definitely doing all right. a3 I don't think is nearly as strong. So let's retreat. Hang on. I was thinking of bishop a5 and then b4, bishop c7, but then he can go ef6, queen f6, and knight d5, which I think I should avoid. So I'm going to go all the way back home. The bishop might look passive here, but my point is I think he's going to have to take on f6, and then after queen f6, the bishop will quickly come back to d6 anyway. So the diagonal I wanted this bishop on is the b8 h2, but if I had played bishop a5, b4, I couldn't go bishop c7, so I like playing this way better. Now bishop h3 is a threat. Here comes bishop d6, and all of a sudden white's king is actually coming under some notable fire. So let's go rook e7 and prepare to bring my other rook to either f8 or e8 as I see fit, depending on what white does next move. Also, I have to say real props to this guy here for declining the draw and continuing the game. I don't think I had a choice there. I mean, I had to just be worse or take the draw. And this guy, I mean, a lot of guys who just, try to draw every game with strong players, or they just sort of, I don't know why they play chess, but this guy is fighting, and I appreciate that. So rook a e8, but I think that his fighting spirit may stab him in the back at this point because this position looks very bad for white. Can I take on e3 and then go queen takes d4? How does he break the pin? If queen f2, bishop c5 wins. If knight d1, bishop f4 wins. I believe I can take e3. Hang on, take, queen d4. If queen d3, bishop c5. If knight d1, bishop f4. If queen f2, bishop c5. I don't see how this holds together. Let's take on e3 and see what he has in mind. I mean, I could have done something much calmer for sure, but this, I think, is the end of the game. So take, and I don't see how he breaks the pin. If queen f2, bishop c5, and he's still going to lose material. And if queen d3, bishop c5, and if knight d1, bishop f4. So at this point, black is winning. We'll get my exchange back and remain at least a pawn up. So queen d3, I go bishop c5, and I don't think he gets out of this. I'll try king f2, but well, I should be careful. If he blockades the dark squares, he might have chances to hold, but I don't think he will manage. My king will come to d6, and then I start getting b6, c5 through, and that should be decisive. All right, so king f7. At some point, you're gonna have to move your king. b4. It's a good move. Let's go b6. Okay, so now I gotta take, stick my king on d6, and then as soon as I get c5 in, the game is over. So I think he had to try b5 there, because now I get c5 and now he loses, basically, is the long story short. Once these pawns get going, they're not going to be stopped. So how do I want to handle this? He wants knight h5 or something, which I'm not super scared of. I could play bishop e8 and then meet knight e6 with like g6. That's probably pretty good. Let's just do it. Maybe this is a little tougher than I anticipated because my kingside pawns are a little vulnerable, but I do think black should be winning without a ton of trouble. So knight d3, now I'm going to start giving checks because the king can't come back to d3. So, and yeah, so as soon as these pawns start get moving, there's really nothing else to say. I think he's done. So I'm going to play, I think, g5 check now with the point that he can't play king e4. That's mate. And otherwise, he's going to have to go back, and this is This is not going to hold for white. So let's bring the bishop back to e8. And now king d5, and my pawns will get through. He'll probably take my bishop, but it doesn't particularly matter. Yeah, this should get the pawns through without any particular trouble. Actually, maybe I've messed this up a bit because now his knight will get back to d3. So yeah, this probably wasn't the most accurate, but I still think I should be winning here because he will run out of moves and I will start taking stuff on the queen side. So let's go a6. And now I'll go, see, so if king b2, king d4, king a3, that looks very good. So let's give this a try. King b3. Now can I bully his knight away? Not sure. So king b2, knight d3, king b1, king b6, c1, and then I lose. That's a shame. So this might be a draw now, actually. Let's see if I can zoot one here. So here, and then here. And now it looks like I might be winning again here and takes. And now I should be able to, I might be able to get through, not sure. Yeah, I think this was a draw at the end. But I wasn't trying to flag him. I was still trying to win on the board. So good game, Alex David. I think you defended this endgame very well. But yeah, it also seems like my opening seemed to go fine. I certainly wasn't trying to flag you. I was trying to win on the board. Yeah. Okay, so I'll get one more game in before we call it a day. So let's see if I can maybe find a 3-minute game so it's faster. I need 3 minutes. Let's see, 3 minutes, only 5-minute games. Here's a 3-minute. Okay, last game of the day. So far, my semi-Slav repertoire has remained unscathed, and it seems like Black has sort of got out of things okay. And hopefully that is convincing you all to buy the course, because I'm literally just playing the moves that I recommend in my course. As long as you play these same moves, you should be getting good positions. And yes, kudos, good game to this guy. He played very well, and kudos for not trying to force an early draw with white, but instead really fighting. Cobra seems to be gone, so we're going to abort. Let's see if anyone else has challenged me to 3 minutes. Okay, dangerous ride, last game. Good luck, dangerous ride. All right, so last chance that my semi-Slav repertoire is under the microscope. Let's see how well it holds up. Okay, so e6, knight bd7. All right, so this guy is playing more of a main line after queen a5. Let's see if he wants to play cd5, or that's a mistake. And now knight e4, and white's already losing. That was fast. Yeah, white loses material. Now knight takes c3, and it's all over. Well, I guess he's still sort of fighting, because he doesn't lose absolutely everything, but after bishop b4, I will, at the very least, force an endgame with an extra pawn. And so he doesn't have to resign just yet. He can keep fighting, but it's not going to work well for white. I don't even love the way I played this, honestly, but let's work on my technique. So chop, chop, king e7. I'm a pawn up, but his bishops might look like they're pretty good, and he's got a center, but it's not actually going to do anything productive. So I can slowly but surely complete my development. So I'll go b6, bishop b7. Okay, so he wants to blow up the center. That's the right thing to do, but I don't think it's going to work. So I'm going to take once on d5 and then go e5 and hide my king on d6 and play bishop b7. So let's go bishop b7. I'm ready for like king d6 next or something. King d6, rook c8, and then black will be a pawn up in the endgame. So let's take the king here. He probably should have sacrificed the pawn with d6 at some point just to open the position for the bishops, because now black's position plays itself. Rook c7, rook c8, like the extra pawn will count. Okay, so let's go rook c7 as mentioned. And then rook c8 will come next. Don't particularly care about that. I can take with the knight on e5. And now it should be all over. That, I think, loses material to rook c3, unless I'm missing something, which I don't think I am, so let's play rook c3. All right, long live the semi-Slav. I think I managed unscathed. I accepted some challenges from some pretty high-rated players who definitely gave me a run for my money, but I don't think anybody really gave me any trouble in the opening. So it seems like, at least for now, my semi-Slav course, which again, I will advertise here and type in to the chat, you can buy there. But it seems like if you want to play exactly like me and win all these games with black, that's where you have to do it. So in any case, that's where we're at. And here, well, okay, he will try bishop d4 and then bishop takes e5, actually. So I have to be a little careful still. Is there a way I can avoid... I thought this game was over, but actually there's still a little bit more. If I play rook b3, bishop e5, king e5, d6, bishop c6, d7, take, and rook takes, she has very good drawing chances. So I'm going to regretfully have to play f6, but this also is completely winning because I've blockaded his pawn firmly. I'm a pawn up. I can now play rook c2 and take g2. I can play rook a3 and take a4, which I think I'm going to do. And yeah, I'm taking too much stuff here. So let's take a4. Check back with the pawn. Rook d4 comes next. And that should be that. All right, rook d4. And now 3 pawns up. I might not be the best player out there, but I think I can win this one. Okay, so good game to dangerous ride. Thanks everybody for coming, and hopefully this was a successful advertisement for this for my lifetime repertoire semi-Slav. I certainly did my best to explain it the best I can, and I hope I advertised it and played some good games here that convinced some people to buy it. For one last time, I'll type the link into the chat below. But yeah, in any case, thanks everyone for coming, and I will see you next time.
It's time to take control of your journey towards chess mastery. Magnus Carlsen introduces Chessable, the definitive solution for studying chess. Move Trainer uses the science of spaced repetition to identify your strengths and eliminate your weaknesses. There's no need to set up a board, remember which page you're on, or keep track of all the moves you miss. Move Trainer empowers you to go from the opening to the end game with confidence. It's a seamless, effective, and fun way to study chess. Choose from one of the largest online chess libraries in the world, with hundreds of titles ranging from classic books through to our exclusive Chessable courses, including over 100 free courses. Get expert insights from International Master John Bartholomew, Grandmaster Sam Shankland, International Master Christoph Sulecki, Grandmaster Simon Williams, World Champion Magnus Carlsen, and hundreds of other instructors. Get started now and join our growing community of over 100,000 chess enthusiasts at chessable.com. Chessable, take control of your journey towards chess mastery.